Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, back to a brand new video, and today we're going to be looking at everything we know about the upcoming season for PUBG, Season 7 to be exact. Now, you might think it's a little bit early to be speculating about the content that we're going to be getting, not immediately, but definitely in the distant future. But really, when we look at all of the context clues and things that are happening right now, we have a good grasp on the road ahead and what to expect, even more than we did like last week. So this should be a really exciting video. If you guys end up enjoying today, please give it a thumbs up. That would be incredible. Subscribe if you are brand new to the channel, and also if you want to catch my live streams, I'm streaming almost every single day over on Twitch. That is linked down below. If you haven't already followed, I'd appreciate if you do. For those of you who had followed, thank you very much. It's a cool place to hang out and I appreciate it. Season 7 is going to be incredibly interesting for PUBG because I genuinely think it's going to be the biggest content stream we have ever seen potentially. Now, I think most of the community right now is concerned with getting the cheaters out of the game and fixing a ton of bugs that are plaguing us at the moment, and I absolutely agree with that. I'm only going to be talking about content in this video. I made an entirely separate discussion video on the bugs and cheater problem, and so if you want to go check that out, I recommend you do if that's what you're concerned with. However, our focus today is only going to be on the specific content side of things. With the drop of Season 6, the main piece of content, the main course was Karakin, and this is, of course, the very small brand new map that, while is a little bit controversial, I also think that generally made a nice addition to the game and is very enjoyable to play from time to time. It is a very good switch up, and it's a good change of pace from the standard BR maps. It came with many new experimental features that I feel are going to be translated over into future content in future maps. Now, the idea of destructible environments was pretty much something only seen on Karakin, at least to this grand scale, and I think this is actually an experiment for what's coming next. And when Karakin got added to the game, of course, vikendi ended up getting removed, which was yet another controversial change, but it's being done for a reason. We know at this point, vikendi is being taken back to basically get a complete overhaul and remaster to the map. And I honestly don't believe it's going to be anything like what we remember it being. This may be the biggest change, even bigger than Erangel remastered. These experimental features that are only on Karakin right now may end up making their way to vikendi remastered and potentially other maps as well. Now, this happened over on Twitter. A PUBG developer tweeted this saying, "Karakin has made me suspicious of all walls," and someone replied basically asking like, "Are you trying to tell us something with this tweet?" And he pretty much gives a nod and wink like, "No, this is only a wall. It's absolutely nothing else. Wink, wink." The other day, PUBG also released an Inside Karakin video in which they explained how Karakin basically laid the groundwork for destructible environments in PUBG to be a realistic thing. Now, of course, like, not everything in the entire map is going to be destructible, and I don't think it's ever going to get to that point, but we can have reasonably like interesting and dynamic environments that we've already seen with Karakin. Vikendi Remastered could easily have that same mechanic translated right over upon its release, having destructible environments, potentially even the black zone that will level buildings. But the item that allows you to do this action, of course, is the sticky bomb or the C4, and this is of course an item we've talked about for a long time before that got leaked, like way before it got released to the game. But as it turns out, we have some information that this C4 or the sticky bomb that's in Karakin is not actually the only C4 that's coming, and there's actually a separate one that's being developed. And this actually makes a lot of sense because the early images we had of the leaked C4 do not match up at all with the sticky bombs that we have in Karakin, and in fact the sticky bombs just behave way differently. They're essentially just reskinned grenades because you don't actually manually detonate these. They happen on their own, similar to how you would pull a pin on a frag. The key difference with the C4 is it's looked like it's something you have to manually arm and also detonate on like maybe the touch of a remote or something, and so this is going to be a lot more tactical than the sticky bomb is, but we'll probably end up having the same uses as far as breaching buildings and opening up rooftops. But if this is not going to be added on Karakin as a C4 and a sticky bomb in the same map, I think would be kind of redundant. Then the only explanation is that this is probably going to appear on Vikendi Remastered, considering if it has destructible environments. So cool, we got that. Vikendi Remastered is likely going to come back vastly different than we remember it, with destructible environments and also likely a proper C4 equipment. Now, next we also need to talk about the new story mode. I mentioned this briefly in a previous video, but I want to go way more in detail about what I think the story mode is going to be. We know from a previous leak, PUBG was working on AI bots, and I thought for a while that they were going to be adding bots to the games, and especially dead queues for BR, but I honestly don't know if that's the case anymore. That was my suspicion, but I think that's wrong. I think that these AI bot like characters are being developed for the story mode, and these are going to be the people you play against. From what we understand, this story is going to be a predecessor to Erangel, and this is going to be going over the history between the Resistance and the Rebellion that fought over the island. And just to be crystal clear, this is not to be confused with the single-player game that's already being developed by Striking Distance. I did mention that in a previous video, but I just want to make sure there's no confusion there. It seems as if the story that PUBG Corp is making is going to be more or less like a minigame campaign. I can't imagine this is going to be like a full-fledged $60 title full of content. This is probably going to be some sort of minigame that you can just get like maybe an hour's worth of story out of. When it comes to the contents of the storyline and gameplay, I have strong reason to believe that this is going to go over the history of the boy on the island and also maybe some members in the Resistance and also the Rebellion. If this is truly the case and this mode is being developed as we speak, then this is a wonderful idea. Having PUBG as like the mainstay is BR, but having this arcade mode where you can go play TDM or even play like a miniature story mode is absolutely awesome. And the best part is it's not a one and done deal. It doesn't have to be only Erangel. This story mode can go into the history of all of the maps and have miniature campaigns for basically everything that exists. And for players who care about the story and to want to learn more, this would be a huge resource for us. I'm curious to what you guys think about this in the comment section, because some people seem to be divided on this. Are you excited at the prospect of a story mode that is in no way going to affect BR, but will just be additional content you can play, probably either by yourself or maybe even with friends? Do you not care about the story at all, or what do you think about this mode as a whole? According to the anonymous leaker from a few months back, we're also supposed to be getting some kind of offline zombie mode that you can play. So basically, to play zombie mode right now in PUBG, you have to play with other players online, but this new mode is going to be some kind of like training ground that you could just go around and maybe shoot zombies in for a little bit. To tell you the truth, I don't know if there's going to be a lot of depth to this game mode, and I honestly don't think it's super high on the priority list of things that we need to have in the game, but it is something to look out for if you enjoyed the zombie mode and maybe you have trouble finding lobbies and would like to play it by yourself sometimes. Now, new guns is always a hot topic, and this is coming from the same source that leaked Karakin way before it was even in the game, and everything that this source has mentioned has now been pretty credible, so we have reason to believe that a bunch of new weapons are going to be added to the game. It's been honestly a fair bit since we've had a new weapon. I believe the DBS was the last one to be added into PUBG. Some of these new weapons include the P90, the HK-G3, and also the FAMAS assault rifle. The G3 and the FAMAS are pretty self-explanatory, but the interesting one I want to pick out is the P90, because right now we think the P90 might be an airdrop SMG with its own ammo type. Now, what this means is that PUBG is finally going to be adding a brand new form of ammo, which has actually never happened since the launch of its game. The only real exclusive ammo type is, of course, the 300 Magnum for the AWM, but again, that hasn't been added post-launch. That was something that was always here. The P90 is supposed to have its own special ammo. If PUBG is developing a brand new ammo type for this game, this could open the door for many new weapons to come that are outside the realm of what we're already using. So that's a super exciting prospect, not only for the P90 itself, but just for the things that this could open the door for. Now, really quickly, let's talk about the new movement system. For Season 7, we don't know if the new movement system will be implemented then. This might be a very long-term mechanic that's being worked on, but I actually thought of something interesting that could be coming with this new movement system. Now, originally, PUBG wanted a feature where if you were prone, you could use your lean keys to kind of like sideways roll on the ground, and this feature was cut because the mechanics simply didn't work. But with this new overhauled movement system, that actually might be coming, like a fundamental change to player movement might be a new addition. And we can tell very clearly they've already been toying around with this stuff with the new right peak balance, where like it's not as overpowered as it used to be. It's still good to use, but they've been tweaking the way player models and movement works, and so this is only the beginning. We could potentially have a completely redone system, which I'm not sure if it's going to be a good or bad thing yet. Again, movement in this game is a fundamental part of, I think, what makes it enjoyable. Yes, it can be tweaked, and yes, I think it can be polished, but we'll see how drastic of the changes end up happening. Ledge grabbing is also supposed to be getting a lot of overhauls. We know this from the time it was implemented. There was a lot of new changes that were planned to be added shortly thereafter, but actually never happened, and so we're not sure why. The ledge grabbing animations unfortunately did stagnate after a while, which is very unfortunate. I think this is probably going to get an overhaul with this new movement system and animations, whatever's coming with that. I imagine it's going to take the game and turn it on its head, but we'll have to see. It's safe to say there's still a lot of surprises surprises that we have no idea about that are waiting around the corner for us for Season 7, but this is like a relatively good look about what we can expect coming forward. And I like to speculate about these because we can get a good grasp on what things we might enjoy and what we might not. Some of the things that I'm particularly most excited for is, of course, Vikendi Remastered and that entire thing coming back, and also the story mode sounds really intriguing. Team Deathmatch, again, will be coming to the servers. This is already with Season 6, but it's such a good idea, and I think this arcade mode is now the new wave. So let me know what you think about this stuff down below in the comment section, guys. I hope you did enjoy today's video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are brand new to the channel and you haven't done so already, and also go follow me over on Twitch if you haven't done so. Link is in the description. But have a good rest of your day, guys. I'm gonna let you go. Take it easy, everyone, and peace out.